This is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another couch video. The men who get the most sex out here. The men who get the most sex. Because, like I said, ultimately it comes down to which man turning the woman on. And if you talking about, let's be real. People talking about game or not game or something, it all comes down to who getting sex. Think about it, men doing all these things. Trying to get some money, trying to get some status, tricking, trying to figure out what to say to women. It's for sex. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. Like people who listen to videos like this or anything else or in this general sector, it got to do with sex. Let's just be real. All right? Or you're trying to go your own way. Well, sex was a part of it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this sector. So, the men who get the most sex, it actually goes against what people think, who do dubious research just on social media or try to go by what they see in the media. It's totally different. Like the dudes might be considered good looking, but not like model good looking or something. And that's actually coming from the women talking about them. And the key ingredient is a good body build, not even a great body build. Because I'm going to tell you something now. If you take an honest look at the dudes, and I can even go further than that, but if you actually know the dudes who get multiple women and everything, or either getting multiple women, and not just, the other day I talked about you get some women out here be getting some ducks. I mean, some men out here be getting some ducks and stuff, right? And shoot, some women too, but they be getting some ducks, but they another conversation. But yeah, they do. But if you take an honest look at some of the dudes who be getting the fine women and stuff, and the dude usually ain't like looking like, like some fashion model or something, right? Usually not. Usually they look decent, they fix themselves up or everything, and some of them even rough looking. And that's two reasons for that, right? The first thing, women in general don't want a man who look better than they do, in general. And let's be real, the majority of women in that 4 to 6 range. So if a woman is a general 6, facially she want that man to be maybe a 5, in most cases. Facially, she wants to be the center of attention, because the basic thing with women is the attention thing. And then, honestly, they're not really turned on by a man's face. So, they more turned on by his physical build, his body, as long as his body is, like, in good shape. And, basically, he just need to be bigger and taller than her. And just incidentally with that tall thing, it don't have to be 6 feet, because everybody thinking 6 feet and everything. Just as long as he's taller than most women just want a guy that they have to at least tilt their head up a little bit to look at. So if she 5'2" and the dude 5'7", she usually good to go. Indeed, if she 5'2" and he 5'9" and stuff, that's still 7 inches taller. She still got to tilt her neck up. There's a sexual thing there, especially if you know how to really arouse a woman. She present that neck. Vampire's got a point. That's why I do tell dudes to work on that body, but I've also said your best form, and it don't have to be like that super tight, muscular thing. In fact, a lot of women, they funky about that, because they'll get with that type of guy, but then it'll make them feel bad, because how many women out there got that perfect body? Now, it's not to say those dudes don't get theirs, or if they look like a fashion model, fitness model, they get theirs, but they usually get like one woman and they good to go. And that's cool too. But if you want to be real out here, women, I'm going to tell you what, women like that roughness and stuff. In fact, there's a lot of women, they prefer to get sex with a guy with what they call bitter ugly, or they don't like pretty boys and stuff. In fact, I'm going to tell you what, with most women, honestly, most women, they'll look at a guy and say, yeah, he a pretty boy and stuff, but they ain't really turned on. They admire him and stuff, but they ain't really turned on by it. In fact, they be questioning his sexuality if he look a little too good. Seriously, women like that tad of roughness in a man. That's why if you look at some serious players, a lot of times they let their facial hair grow out, or they may have a strategically placed, and I do mean strategically, like a scar somewhere or something like that. That gets them hot, that rough look. I mean, if you look at the dudes called bad boys don't look like clean-cut dudes. They don't look like it. But that's what they go crazy over. Now, somebody might say, well, Rom, yeah, you be saying it. But according to this study, or according to what I seen on this online dating survey, look, I'm going to be straight with y'all. I know what I know because I'm out there in the fucking streets. That's how I learned the game. And I've known the motherfuckers getting pussy since I was little. Now, I learned the game from two sides. One, I learned a lot from women who were like the sugar babies, acculturated prostitutes, the women using men for their money. They would tell me stuff because they said, Ron, you got a good heart. I don't want you to see you get played out here. All right? Learned that from them. But then I learned from the thorough dudes. And I was watching them since I was little up to this day. Because one thing people don't understand about me, they thinking like they do. They just sitting online all day and everything. After I do these podcasts, y'all see me. Well, first of all, y'all don't see me do the podcast. I do these car videos. How long it take? I mean, car videos and house videos. The longest, like if I'm sitting in front of my bookcase in Professor Rom mode, might be 20 minutes. The longest. And, you know, edited and all that. But I still got the rest of the day. And I'm still out here. I still know people. I be talking with people. I know players. I can go out now, just hang out in the grocery store for about 20 minutes. And I know the players in there. They either workers or somebody I just happen to see. And then I've been through all the neighborhoods. I done seen dudes who get multiple kids, multiple women, everything. That's why some people call me the field master, because you know what? A lot of dudes on some theory and all this shit. It's like, nah, you got to take it to the streets. And I'm going to tell you something that kind of annoyed me with a lot of the guys who got something to say against that. If you say to them, what street you been in? Where you hang out? Where you grow up at? In fact, I'm gonna be real. I'm going to just put this out there. When I get somebody who ain't even in this country, ain't been in these streets, ain't been around no real players trying to say some shit, I don't need, this shit ain't even worth listening to. Because I'm like, you ain't over here. And like I said, I done seen who was getting what from the hood to upper class areas and stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. Ain't what they think in the media. That's why, I'm going to tell you what, that's why even like, I've said some stuff about the height thing. Because people like so busy on that. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. I know personally some dudes who ain't that tall got some badass women. Like, it ain't speculation. I know the motherfuckers. I know who fucking and not fucking out here. Because understand something. And I gotta know. Because understand something. Anybody who know about D.C., especially before it got like gentrified, if you know about Anacostia, Berry Farms, you know, the big chair over there on MLK Avenue, that area, Congress Heights. And that was just as a kid. Then I'm over in Northeast DC. And I got cousins over by the shrimp boat. I got no people all over. So I've been it all. I done seen it there. I done seen it on 2 university campuses. And another, you know, one in Philly, one in DC. Shoot. And then been all over, and then know people from all over. And it is never what people think. You got some guys out here thinking, and look, I'm just going to go on this rant. Well, not rant, but, you know, tangent, but it's important. You got guys out here, you know, they be doing these long videos, hangouts, and all of that. I say, do y'all go outside? Do y'all go outside? Where y'all hanging at? Y'all hanging in the streets? What y'all really seeing out here? What do you really know? Fuck, not even what you seeing. How many players do you know? I know players. To this day, I can, right now, I could just like text somebody now, and they telling me, they tell me how they roll. And people, please, you know who doing what, where. And it ain't what you thinking. It ain't what people think. And then when you start looking at the common denominators, and you talking to the dudes, and then you talking to the women who getting fucked. Sometimes the women will tell you who they fucking, who they get turned out by. And you know, you got some people, they'll say, Well, you know, women lie. Dude, if anybody with any real street smarts can look somebody dead in the eye and tell when they lying about something. Because you got to. Especially you've been in some like bad neighborhoods. That's your survival mechanism. You got to be able to read that person's behavior. That's the difference between whether or not you get robbed, played, whatever. You know, when you know, I'm gonna just straight up call them like predatory environments. You got to be able to read people. So I know if a woman like bullshitting me or not. And I've actually told some women, I say, you know, you lying through your teeth right now. Then they tell me the truth, and then knowing the guys out here, knowing how they ducking, shit, it ain't what people think publicly. It really ain't. It ain't what people think. Who they spend all their time online or be breaking out some studies or something, or talking about some books somebody read. I'm like, are you out here? Shit. And that's why I'm serious. That's why I tell people, if you listen to when we talk about that thing called game, I ain't that complicated. I tell people, just get yourself in the best shape. I mean, you know, you don't have to be super muscular or something. That's a lot of work, but best shape. Be some guys who can dress decently. You know, they at least like, you know, wash their face, get a good haircut or something. I told you, I let the barber bless you. And then just really, I'm going to tell you what, just have a good conversation. Seriously. And, you know, don't worry about it if you don't have like that square jaw or anything. Women want to be the pretty one. You just need to look decent. As long as your ass ain't hideous and shit. And hell, I've known some dudes. I told y'all one time about this dude I work with. The women called his ass Shrek. But that dude was like stroking. Shit. Man, it's so much out there. But you got to get out there, though. And, you know, and that's why sometimes, like, I'll tell dudes, I mean, you know, dudes ask me different questions. I say, you know, you got to get out there and figure it out for yourself. You got to get out there. That's why I say you got to go outside. Some dudes get mad when you point that out. I say it's a COVID or something. Man, whatever. I'm still going outside. Shit, I still got women who say hi to me, and all they see is the man. All they see is the eyes. This is covered up. Women like my eyes, though, but still, you know. They can still see my frame and everything. Because let me talk about that frame, that body. A woman got to look at a man and be comfortable with seeing him naked. And women get turned on by bodies. That's why male exotic dancers make the money they do. That's why women go overseas to different places on sex tourism. They ain't going for that guy's money or something. And like I said, as long as the face look decent, you know, passable. And like some women look for that. They'll skip over, you know. Like I said, sometimes if a dude look too good, they be questioning whether or not he's straight. You know? Seriously. And that's the real game out there. That's the real game. And it all comes down to sex. Because I'm going to tell you what. A lot of guys don't get you know, see, I'm going to tell you what. Because you know how I flow with these things. I find it interesting that dudes will get on here and talk about everything but sex, what the women actually want. Or they might mention something, but then they talking about all this other stuff, the money, the social stuff. Yeah, that's cool, but when you get down to it, you talk to a woman. You talk to a woman, and if you ask them, you get them honest, you get them away from people where they got to lie, and you look them dead in the eye, you get them comfortable, and you let them know, hey, you ain't going to judge what they say. They'll tell you what. And women be breaking up with dudes or not dealing with dudes because it'd be some shit related to sex. Seriously. That's why when you come up, that's why if you really look at what I focus on, is developing yourself sexually. Starting with the body and everything. You know, and then getting those sexual skills. Because like on my Patreon, I'll get into talking about those sexual skills. Because I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you what. Let me give y'all some real game. A lot of dudes look for shortcuts. First, just work on your body and everything. Work on your cleanliness and your style. Work on your conversation. Get that woman comfortable enough to just, you know. You might have to get her to that point of, you know, where she might have like that casual sex with you. You know, she got that itch to scratch, right? But then when you get in there, you turn her out and she'll stop and look at you, right? She'll be like, damn. Like, fellas, y'all ever had that woman, shoot, you might be doing a doggy style or something, and then she'll just stop and look back at you. You got it when she stopped with, like, you in the middle, she just stop and just look at you. It's just like, shit. That's where you be like, yeah, keep that groove up. But you get those skills and stuff, and I'm going to tell you what, women talk too. Women talk, because see, once you get that one woman, and you feeling good, she feeling good, she tell her girlfriends, all of a sudden, they coming. That's it. And I challenge anybody on that one. I challenge anybody if you want to talk about that shit. You got to turn them out, or at least try to turn them out. Now, this ain't going to say you want to turn out every woman you deal with, because they got their stuff that they need to do. But, you know, trust me, you ain't, they always going to give you a shot, because women can look at a guy and tell if he give off a sexual vibe and stuff just by his body language and everything. Right? But, you know, I know this just being out here, knowing who got who, knowing dudes who, they all got money status and they look very average, but got about 5 baby mamas from decent women too. Like decent look, you be like, damn, dude. And I mean, I say women, if you use that number system, then a minimum 6. And that's still above average. I'm saying minimum. Indeed, if you look at some of the, because I've known some women who, on that Instagram level, IG and all that, if you look, some of them, if you look at the baby daddies, you be like, dude, can't get a modeling contract. I know some fine-ass women, too. They be having that baby and stuff. Because deep down, a woman think her looks will carry the baby, so they be like, as long as that dude look halfway decent and shit, like I know, trust me, I know several women, like personally, I can hit them up. I can go talk to them, right? I can go fuck taxes them and shit. I can go wherever they work or wherever where I usually see them or something and like shoot the breeze with them. Yeah, you be seeing the baby daddies or something, you be like, okay, they be bad as shit too, but it's all that sex. It's all that sex. Women want to get, they want that good. Shit, they want somebody like take them, plaster them against the wall, have them screaming, yelling and stuff, have them hit new octanes, you know, want to give it to them on that kitchen floor and stuff. Shit, it's shit. But anyway, though, just want to put that out there. And people, I know some people say, why are you getting all raw like that? Because we got to be real out here, man. We ain't talking about sex enough. All of this shit coming down to sex. People think it's money and shit. Nah. Because there's just some dudes who got plenty of money and they got dry dick. Plenty of dudes. Or they think they doing this and that. They think they can just put on some or have something to say. Yeah, that plays a role, but at the end of the day, like even the men who got some money and status, they still got to have a good body build. They still got to let the barber bless them. They still got to look a certain way. Because women want to know who going to perform. They want to know who got that stamina and stuff. You know? And shit. And yeah, they be checking out the print. So, you know? So anyway, that's just the reality of it. We're going to get... Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got for today, y'all. Hey, y'all get out there. Seriously, y'all get out there. Like, if anybody got anything, tell me, okay, tell me, like I said, you got a problem with anything, I say, okay, tell me what streets you grew up in. And I'm dead serious. Tell me what streets, what area. Tell me if you even grew up in this country. Like I said, I don't like it when somebody outside this country be trying to say some shit. Because, yeah, I say, nah, you ain't been in the H-O-double-D hood. Yeah, I said double D. All right? So, anyway, I'll get back with y'all later. You have a good weekend. Peace and blessings.